supply, waiting for the church to pray. Call on me, and I will answer you. Call on me, and I will answer you. Wait on me, and I will lift you up. Call on me, and I will answer you. Angels standing by, waiting for the call, coming from the ones who pray. I have paid the price. I have paid the price for everything you need. Just receive them. Just receive them as you pray. Call on me, and I will answer you. Call on me right now. Call on me, and I will answer you. If you wait on me right now, wait on me, and I will lift you up. Call on me, and I will answer you. Call right now. Yeah. For whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. If you wait on me right now, me and I will lift.
Yes, call on me and I will answer you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you are joining us on Facebook, whether you are joining us on YouTube, wherever you are joining us from, it is a pleasure to have you here. And welcome to the day 4 of the No Conference. My name is Apotieri Ayoshola, and I'll be your host for this session. I want to seriously and deeply appreciate the ATQ community, appreciate 360 Connect, and Coach Stella especially for the opportunity to be your host for this session. And please, while we are here, I would please ask that share the link to this particular program for today's evening session across your social media pages. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on YouTube. If you are joining us on Facebook, do well to follow us. We have presence across all social media, Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube, where we are showing this broadcasting live. My name is Apotieri Ayoshola again, and I'm welcoming you specially to the evening session of day 4. Thank you so much for joining in, and God bless you. I hope that throughout the course of this conference, you have been a part of it. If you have, I definitely know that you must have learned so much. I had the privilege of joining the afternoon session, and it was phenomenal. It was wonderful. Coach Akiri Olaromi was talking about building lasting bond with teenagers. And let me put her verbatim. She said she wanted to talk to us from a place of experience, knowledge, and understanding of what teenage were like, especially when she has 2 twin teenage boys to deal with. So please, if you were in that afternoon session, do us a favor by sharing some of the things you learned. Because I personally, as there was something I jotted down, she said, we and our teenagers, especially parents and teenagers, are worlds apart. And that we have to do all we can to connect with them, all that we can, despite the fact that we are worlds apart. And another thing she said that was big for me was that for us to be able to build wholesome, resilient, and balanced teenage boys. If you missed that session, please go back to our YouTube channel, and we are going to have an amazing experience of how to build a strong and lasting relationship and bond with your teenage boys. Thank you so much. Please don't forget, do well to share across your social media pages. Let's have this place filled with parents who would like to learn from our next speaker. Thank you so much. As you do that, I pray that God will bless you. So why are we here really? We are here for the No Conference, right? So No Conference is brought to you by answering top questions from children and teens. ATQ for short. We're a growing community of parents, carers, and trusted adults. And we have our presence on WhatsApp, we have our presence on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Our sole and main objective is to ensure that children and teenagers get it right. And that even when they don't, when they ask us correct and appropriate questions, we give them the correct and appropriate answers to their questions. And to ensure that parents, carers, safe and trusted adults are equipped with the right answers to give to those questions. And we can have meaningful conversations with them. And this we have achieved using several tools. One of those tools is our monthly webinar that we call HWDI. HWDI is short for How We Do It, where we learn, we share our monthly, and then where we learn and share about those questions like we talked about earlier. And then we have our monthly book reviews and offering answers, suggestions, solutions to questions sent to our community. Please, the links are going to be shared the links are going to be shared on throughout the course of this program. Join our community today and God bless you. By joining, you can click on any of the links that are displayed in the comment section. We look forward to seeing you. Please, if you are with me, do well to give us likes on YouTube as you are listening to this. God bless you. And to the main reason why we are here, I am privileged to be a teacher myself. And one of the things that I am mostly interested in as a teacher is children with special needs. The little knowledge I have said these special needs are spread around various types. But today we have the privilege and honor to have Madam Bibi. She said I should call her Bibi, Madam Bibi in Kere. She'll be talking to us about understanding the needs of children living with special needs. I want to specially welcome Madam Bibi. We are excited that you are able to join this session. I think there's a challenge with the bio. We are very excited to learn from you, Ma. And before we go fully into the session, okay, so Ma, displaying your bio, I really apologize. I sincerely apologize about that. We are still working with the technical department to get that sorted. Please, ma'am, kindly give us the privilege to learn from you, to share from your wealth of experience, and help us grow in the knowledge of how to deal with kids that are living with special needs. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are joining us and following us from, I present to you Madam Bibi Nkere. Madam, please, ma'am, you have 45 minutes, and after that, we are going to take questions from the audience. And then, please, dear audience and everyone, kindly remember to share across your social media handles. And let's be blessed for the next 45 minutes. Ma'am, you are welcome, and I'm honored to be the one to introduce you to the No Conference before evening session. God bless you. Please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good evening, everyone. I am Bibi Nkere, and I sincerely appreciate the convener of the conference, Mrs. Stella Oboko, for the privilege. I've actually been privileged to be part of the conference, like from inception, and I am also a great beneficiary of the teachings, the learnings from this conference. And if I like earlier today, I was listening to the talk on teenagers, getting closer to them and everything. And I was like, I have gotten it wrong in a lot of ways, you know. So it's a place to learn, and it's really a privilege to be here. I don't know why my earpiece doesn't seem to be working, but I hope everyone is hearing me clearly. Please, can you confirm that you are hearing me clearly? Okay, can we? I hope we are hearing. Let me see the chat. Okay, okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I really don't know what's going on with the network here. Okay, so I'm privileged to be here, and I appreciate um, the convener of the conference for always putting up a topic that is related to disability, to special needs. I know she's doing it because she's actually an advocate herself, and she's sincerely interested in this. So today we are talking about standing strong as individuals with disability, or the parents or teachers, whoever we are in the support system of someone who lives with disability. I've listened to some of the topics, and we can see that life seems to be a bit tough. Things are not always that easy. Our relationships with one another and all that is not that easy. We have different ways of balancing out life, and living through different situations. And then when you talk about someone who is already like coming from the point of view of like a disadvantaged point of view, you can imagine how difficult that would be. But like the topic talks about standing strong, the theme of the conference is standing strong. Bible says that those who do know their God shall be strong and do exploits. We yes, someone is already like disadvantaged, someone is already living within boundaries, and you want this person to stand strong. You want this family to stand strong, and you want the society to stand strong for having, because the society cannot wish away persons with disability. They are right within the society. You want the society to stand strong. So how do we balance all of this out? That's what we are talking about today. So I have some slides that I guess they will be sharing, but um, before then, I would like to talk about disability, in a brief, because we've spoken about it over the years, and I guess that there are some people who may have an idea, who may know very well. Some people may also, it may be a new subject to some people. But disability is actually something that is not new to anybody, because if you think deeply, you would think that you would realize that, oh, you probably have a friend or a relative or a student in your school, your class, your classmate, and who lives with disability. I was talking to someone earlier today, and I was telling him about a boy that was in my class, like I was in primary 4 also, and he was actually our neighbor as well. He lived with albinism. At that time, we didn't even see albinism as a form of disability. I mean, he was just like every other person. So, and we had some people in my class then who struggled to understand the teachers, who had problems learning, and we didn't know about anything like dyslexia or learning disability then. But I mean, to us, they were just classmates, they were just friends. And definitely then along the line, my dad, healthy man, strong man, intelligent man, got a stroke, had a stroke at age 69, lived his stroke for 8 years till he passed at 77. He lost his speech, lost his mobility, So, I mean, that was a healthy person who became disabled. We, in our organization, we call them engraced people. So, I mean, life happens. And yes, someone who is really healthy today could be engraced tomorrow. We will say, God forbid, oh, we don't want that, but that is one of the realities of life. The thing is, what can we do with that? And then you are an individual today, you're just moving on with your life. I mean, life is just smooth. Like, I was pregnant for my third child, and I I was like, oh, this is even the relaxation child. I mean, this is the child that is coming when everything seems more convenient than before. And this is the child we are going to enjoy every day. I would go shopping during break in the office. I would dash to the shops. I'm shopping. My colleagues were like, this your shopping, no the end. Because I was really excited about this baby. And I mean, to me, it was just a baby to just play with, have fun with. I didn't think of anything serious concerning this baby. And then this child, wow, this one came with disability. What do you do when you now see that life turns its table on you? Or probably you were just a young lady today, bubbly, just enjoying life. You get married with all the way we get married in Nigeria, and all the dancing, all the celebration, and then 9 months or 10 months or 12 months afterwards, a child comes and your life changes. What happens? Do you now suddenly become a sad person? Do you now suddenly begin to feel inadequate? Do you now suddenly begin to, go into the blame game? What actually happens? And who are these children that can come that will say, oh, they are children with special needs? Who exactly are they, and what do they look like? And well, people with disability, children with special needs, they are actually, it's just a child. Some people will say, oh, how do I introduce my child with disability? The way you introduce your other children. That person is just human, it's just a child. So um, we have some conditions, some known, some unknown, and the classifications keep broadening every day. Here, right now I'm in the US, and I discovered that the way, in centers, yeah, they have persons with disability. Sometimes I wonder, why is this one here? What's this one doing here? Because things that we would not, classify as disability in Nigeria, they actually, I mean, enough reasons for them to be classified like that here. So this is now beginning to look like, hey, it's just the next person out there. It's just anyone out there who could be living with special needs. And in most of the cases of these special needs, there are things that are they happen from birth. You don't really know, no one really knows what happened, what went wrong with either in the course of the pregnancy or the delivery or whatever. But it's just the way this person is born. And um, like I said, now the classification is broadening. So sometimes you think that someone is normal. Disability does not necessarily show, it doesn't really show. So it's, don't, when we say disability or children with special needs, we are not looking out for children on the wheelchair. And sometimes we do flyers and people are like, oh, these flyers don't reflect, doesn't look like people with disability. I say, people with disability, how do they look like? There are some forms of disability that does not show in the face. So we talk about a condition like autism, a neurological disorder. It does not show in the face. Nobody knows what causes it. Nobody knows. It doesn't have a known cure. It does not show in the face. Yeah, in some cases you could suspect, but it's more behavioral than physical. A child with autism could have other conditions. You can see a child with autism on the wheelchair. So don't say, oh, she said it doesn't show. You may see a child with autism also having Down syndrome, which shows, so there is what they call comorbidity. We can have like different conditions all in one. But broadly speaking, we have autism, which is quite popular in Nigeria. I'm sure lots of people know it. It shows in the behavior where you have the child struggling to have facial contact. Social interaction is poor, is different. Your child, even your own child at home, may never initiate any conversation with you. Your child at home may not show any affection. Does not mean that the child does not have affection, may not show it, So this is autism. It's a spectrum. So people with autism, they say if you see one person with autism, you have actually seen only, you will not say, I've seen them. No, you have only seen one, because they are all different. It's a spectrum. They behave differently, like, across the differences in their behavior cuts across, so that's why they say autism spectrum disorder, and it's not a disease, it's a disorder. And their brains and all that kind of work differently. There's something they call either sensory overload. So a little noise, you see the child putting the hands in the ears, the child cannot accommodate noise, just like hitting my earpod on the table. It's like the child is hearing a trailer passing, and on even floor surfaces, um, like this kind of thing I have on my shirt, labels, and all those things on clothes can even be enough reason to trigger a reaction in a child with autism. So speech, in some cases, yes, there is speech problem, delay, or the child repeating language. In some cases, there is nothing. The child talks, So it's really different. We can't go in depth into that right now. Then we have Down syndrome. Down syndrome is a condition my daughter lives with. It's a chromosomal abnormality. So for whatever reason, when I was pregnant and chromosome 21 was dividing, instead of it to divide into two, we have 23 chromosomes that multiply into 46. But like in her own case, chromosome 21 divided into three. So there's a triplication of chromosome 21. So for that reason, she has Down syndrome. So I always say that she's like us in 46 kinds of ways, and was different in only one way. But that extra chromosome is responsible for like almost everything we see in people with Down syndrome. So we see their facial look is different, slanty eyes, wide nasal bridge, sometimes in some cases small head, in some cases big head, but there's something, a roundness about the head. And then so most times, in most cases, in some cases, there's excellent speech. In most cases, there's slurry speech. In some cases, there's no speech. And learning disability, in some cases, in most cases of people with Down syndrome, learning is an issue. That's when you see this child is in primary 1 for 6 years. You can see the child at 16 years is still in primary 1, So what do we do when we have these children, And there are lots of other conditions that can be associated with Down syndrome. I'm still learning, it's still unfolding, even, right in my house, So, but I'm just speaking very broadly now. Then we have cerebral palsy, it's a neurological disorder. It affects body tone, movement. So you see people with cerebral palsy, a part of their body, sometimes it's affected, sometimes everywhere, sometimes just maybe legs or hands or whatever, but there's something about their movement that is not right. And in most cases, you hear of seizure that is associated with it. You hear of maybe feeding disorder. Yes, some people with cerebral palsy, they use feeding tubes and all of that. And feeding is a serious challenge in most of them. Speech may also be a problem. Oh, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of physiotherapy is required. I mean, these things are in most cases lifelong. So um, emotional support and everything that people with disability need is lifelong. I was telling someone last week, the person was like, but we just helped him. We helped him the other time. I was like, you see, when it comes to this thing, you don't just help once. It's ongoing. The person lives with it. And then when you think about, I'm just giving us these scenarios, they are good. Well, there are things to live with. In most cases, it's a very tough one. Imagine someone at 50 years, in some cases, is still wearing diapers. I mean, it's not an easy place to be. So, when you talk about standing strong, I mean, this topic, if it doesn't apply to anyone, it definitely applies to people with disability and it applies to their families. So when we say standing strong, I can the slides be shared? When we say standing strong, what does that really mean? So we are saying that you should have resilience, you should have courage in parenting. You find yourself on this parenting journey, you never planned for it, you are not prepared for it, you are not trained for it, you don't have capacity for it, but you are in it. What do? You have to have resilience, courage, and there's something in the slides that says it's not about having all the answers, it's about being present, loving, and learning. The lady who spoke earlier today was talking about connecting, us being present in the lives of our children. When we are in this journey, we need to be present. Our parents, our siblings, that's the parents of this child, that person's parents, that person's siblings, that person's friends need to be present. But in most cases, we find out that when people have these children, all their friends fizzle away, their relatives fizzle away, sometimes even their parents are like, look, I have all my children are perfect. Where did you get this one from? Their parents, even their own parents, fizzle away from their lives. And my husband always says that worry, people from worry will say the worstest one, in quotes, is when the spouses fade away. So it's either the husband, in most cases in Nigeria, it's you find the daddy, the husband running away and leaving his wife to live with this situation all alone, or being there but not really being part of that child's life. This is a time that this person is very vulnerable and needs to stand strong, either as a mother, as a father, and the person individual. Because in all of this, we must not forget the individual himself or herself who lives with this condition. So I want us to understand that at the end of this day, if there's anything that you will take home, let it be that we understand that we need that people with disability need support in every area of their lives. They need support in every area of their lives. And if we don't have the slide, on this first slide, we have a picture and we say zero illiteracy for children with disability. Zero illiteracy. Now, in my work with persons with disability and their families for the past 10 years, there are three major areas in Nigeria that it's a problem. In most cases, not the disability itself. The disability itself is not a problem. The problem is in the societal reaction to disability, in acceptance, in the discrimination, the 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 intolerance to this condition. So it's a serious problem. And education. Now, even people that don't seem to have so many physical limitations struggle with education. Either the finances are not there, or you have gone to school, there's no job, or the opportunity is not there. But then here you have a situation where sometimes the money is there, the willingness is there, My daughter, when we had her, we had the money to send her to school. She was enthusiastic about school herself, but we even had an initial problem of a school accepting her. So and a lot of parents till today, and this is so ridiculous that till today in Nigeria, this is like a major problem. Persons with disability. The earlier point I made about just acceptance. I met someone, he works in Ministry of Human Affairs. He's perfectly okay, just that he's visually impaired, as he's blind. This is just a blind man. And he was saying that when he goes to church, sometimes once he sits on a row in church, a bed, whatever, all the people around him will just like move away. This is just a blind person. There's nothing wrong. Is blindness contagious? Even COVID-19, now we said that it's like the most infectious thing that has ever happened in the world. We learned to live with it. So why would you stand up and walk away when someone who is visually impaired comes to sit down? He's a dad. He's a husband. He's a staff. He works. He has a second degree. So what are we even talking about? So when we say, oh, this person cannot be in my school, this person cannot be in my church, this person cannot be in my space, this person cannot be my friend, then the society is a problem. So education is a problem, healthcare is a problem. Like I talked about, someone with 50 years of old is probably wearing diaper. And you think that this is an abomination, or we think that this is so strange, and that is someone that people should not go close to. So even the healthcare, someone was telling me last week that when she takes her daughter to the hospital, that even the medical practitioners, the way that the nurses, like, they want to run away. And we even have till today, which is actually shameful. It's a shameful thing to say that we still have some medical practitioners, medical doctors in Nigeria who don't know about disability. They don't know, they have no knowledge, no information about disability. And when these parents show up in the hospitals, these doctors are saying, oh, don't worry, and the child will grow out of it, and this one, they don't even know anything about the condition. And sometimes there is a case of complete misdiagnosis. I know someone who lives with autism. For almost 15 years of her life, they were telling her she lived with Down syndrome. But thank God her mom is with us. So when we started reading and everything on our own, we sat down, we said, no, come on, this thing is not Down syndrome. The mother had to Google to find out what her child is living with. So these are major challenges. There's no acceptance. Even when people are qualified, getting jobs is a problem. Imagine that you go to the salon and the hairdresser lives with Down syndrome. Or you go to a supermarket and the person at the entrance of the shop to greet you lives with cerebral palsy, and he's like this. You may just like turn back and go. But this is what we see in other parts of the world. In the United States, there are some shops we visit. You just go, the greeter at the entrance that is greeting you is on the wheelchair, is living with one condition or the other. The person who is helping you around is living with one condition, and that makes the society beautiful. So every child is unique. Yes, they have additional needs, but they are unique, and they grow and they experience the world. The same way other children grow and experience the world, these ones also grow and experience the world in the same way. They grow and experience the world. They want to feel the world. They want to touch the world. They want the world to hear them. They want to be heard, and all of that. And now people call it more like developmental disability. Like here in the US, they really don't say special needs anymore. They say persons with developmental disability, because in all the conditions put together, whether you call it dyslexia, you call it the Down syndrome, Fragile X, Asperger's, whatever it is, it has a slight, it has an implication. Let me not say slight, it has an implication on that individual's development. Either it is severe, it is mild, or it is maybe averagely. but there is an implication on the development of this individual. And someone who has a developmental pattern that is different still needs to stand strong. So how do you balance that? How do we, put this together? And so they they need support in the way they learn. They need support just in being accepted, in being smiled at. I normally tell the story of one of those days when I took my daughter to the hospital and someone came and said, "Oh, she's beautiful," and I was looking around and she was like, "No, I'm talking to you," and I was surprised because nobody had really said she was beautiful, at that time, and even me, her mom, at that time, because I was going through different stages myself. So I too had not even seen anything beautiful in her. And so when someone said she was beautiful, I looked again. The person said, "Can't you see her lashes, her eyelashes, and everything?" Another day, someone said, "I saw you. You were walking on the street. You were backing Miracle and walking." And I said, "Hey, how did you know?" She said, I first saw her legs dangling, her beautiful legs. I was like, "Miracle, does she have beautiful legs?" The person said, "Yes, now." And I went home and I looked at her. Her legs are beautiful. So that was someone in the society who helped me to stand strong, who helped me to validate her. So you can be that person who will help another woman, another man stand strong through these challenges. And we need inclusion. I had mentioned it, in passing about that man in church, in spiritual places of worship. Because when a woman has a child with disability, the first thing that family will do is to run to church. Oh, they will want to go to church because that's where they have been going all their lives. There is a woman that does this podcast. She has a child with autism. She's an American. And she's always saying that she has been going to church all her life. She has been serving God all her life. So when she had this child that she could not understand, she ran to church, but the church did not have a solution, did not have an answer for her. So they will find God. God had personally told me that one of the things that keep me going in the advocacy is what God told me, that there is no disability in eternity. And take that. There is no disability in eternity. So whether these people go to hell or they go to heaven depends on the way we accept them, the way we receive them, the way we help them and their families to stand strong. Because most families with children with disability, the truth, my brother, my sister listening to me, is that they no longer go to church because they don't think that their children fit into the church, into the environment. And when their child, like the child with autism that's having sensory overload, maybe the choir, is hitting, they're hitting the drums and the trumpet and everything, the sound is so loud and the child is, jumping and is having a tantrum, everybody will look at that woman. Do you think that woman will want to go to church again the week after? She wouldn't want to. So, or someone goes to church, is probably deaf and dumb, is not hearing anything, is not. So what will they do in that situation? They won't go to church again. They won't go. There's no point. So we have to find a way to accommodate them. And then when we have them in our classrooms as teachers, you just ignore the there was a time I went to my daughter's school. I told you that we had issues, even them accepting her. This school accepted her. I was really excited about it, even though I was noticing one or two things I was not comfortable with. But I mean, she was even in school, and to me, that was, so I noticed that whenever they had open day or whatever, and I passed through her class, I will see that she's back in the class. So this is everybody facing this way, and she's back in the class. And I'll be asking the teacher, why is this girl back in the class? Not until she started doing it at home. When it's time for praise and worship, for family devotion, she's backing us. And we started to say, okay, even though she was not working, we'll hold her by both hands and say, okay, we want to share the goodness. Everybody share the goodness. We'll say, you too, Miracle. Oh yeah, share the goodness. We'll say, today is your turn for praise and worship. However she sings, we'll say, today, okay, you read the Bible verse. We'll give her Bible. She will just do it. She's not saying any word, but we will say, thank you very much. Amen. To get her involved. And then she started evolving with that acceptance. So there's a lot of
spiritual support that is required for persons with disability. They need acceptance in the place of in the they have spiritual needs. They have spiritual needs. Like I said, they either go to heaven or they go to hell. Here in the US, they believe that there is freedom of worship and everything. So if someone does not want to hear about God, it's okay. The person doesn't want to hear, you know. But then when it comes to spiritual things, oh, we leave them out of it. But when it comes to secular things, they are included. And that's where the danger is. And for anyone who is listening to me who happens to be a Christian, you should take it as a personal challenge. Because this person that we are living out, the family is going to church, they are locking up your child at home and you are going to church. How will the child, if this child dies, he will either face heaven or hell. And you know the funny thing about them is that they know when it comes to sexuality and all those things, they grow, they develop at par, they go into puberty and everything like they are other children. So they will still face all those things like our other children. And now the society is even telling them, oh, as they're trying to be sexually aware, they're saying, oh, you are free to go to the private space, masturbate, do this one, it's accepted. And they will even tell you that even if you see them in that state, you should leave them alone. You should even provide them privacy. So what do we do? How do we get them spiritually, involved? And when it comes to disability, that is one thing they'll say, leave church matter. This one, leave church matter. Your doctor. Right now, I'm in a society where they have believed in doctors for years. But I still tell you that there is still no cure. There's still no cure. There's still, I mean, with all the provisions, the difference is not even much between those in our own society and those like in the United States. They're still struggling the same things. So a lot is still needed. This is when you need prayer the most. And then they not tell you that you don't need prayer. Leave God out of this thing. This thing not get cured. Leave God out of it. Even when you have headache, there is paracetamol, there is everything, all kinds of medication. Maybe you have malaria, all kinds of medication for it. Don't you still pray? Don't you still pray? How can we afford to leave God out of it? So the spiritual aspect, the emotional aspect is very important. They would still go into puberty. Our sister in the morning talked about adolescence. They still go through the same adolescent trauma. The same. They still go through the same adolescent trauma. How do we accommodate them? And then there's an emotional thing that I want to talk about concerning parents. A lot of parents begin to blame themselves, begin to feel that they are not sufficient, or something, you must have done something wrong, or maybe when you were pregnant, something went wrong, or maybe you took alcohol, maybe you did not take alcohol, or maybe you were not sensitive enough. Like initially I was saying, that when I was pregnant for this child, how come I did not notice that something was different in this pregnancy? How did I miss it? How did I miss it? So that self-blame, not until one of those days in church, God told me that those that compare themselves with themselves are not wise. And, I began to look at it that, look, there's nothing about blame here. When it comes to this thing, forget it. Nobody, you, the parents, stand strong, put your head high and walk on the streets. It may not be of any fault of yours. It may not be by anything that you have done wrong, that you did or you did not do. It's not because you are not a good parent. It's not because you are not careful. It's not because, you lived a wayward life. I tell people in all confidence, and I'm not boasting, but I tell them that just like my father, Apostle Paul said, look, if it's to boast, I will boast. If it's to boast, if it's so and so tribe, I'm from there. So and so, I'm from there. So and so lineage, I'm from. So he said, look, it's not in all those things. If it's to say, what did the parents do? I didn't do anything. In my life, I never took contraceptive or all these things growing up. Even as I married, I never took it. I never tried to abort anything. I never slept with anybody's husband or did any. So it's not in any of those. I've never taken alcohol in my life. It's not in any of those things. It happens. It just happens. So you don't have to go into self-blame, go into denial, go into trauma, go into depression. Life has happened. When life throws you lemons, you turn it into lemonade. And that's what it is. You just keep moving on. These emotional challenges are there. Your children, yes, there are things. My daughter goes to school and come back. She's not able to fully express, communicate to us what happened in her school day. And I would really love for her to say, she has a teacher that she calls mommy. I would love to hear from her in her own words why she calls that particular woman mommy. She goes to school and comes back with a gift bag. Oh, somebody celebrated birthday. Who celebrated? And she's just saying party, juice, apple juice, this. And she's not saying that it is this, my friend, so and so. These things are painful. But we decide to go on and live our lives. Now, what helps? Having a child with disability is overwhelming for the child, for the parents, and everybody. It can be frustrating. We can be misunderstood. What helps? Consistent love. Consistent love helps. Patience helps. Patience helps. So, helping them name their feelings, helping them express their feelings help. Celebrating small wins helps. Just celebrate them. Just celebrate them. Oh, just celebrate them. A child, my daughter is 14, and she's just about leaving primary school. 2 days ago, they took her to her new school, like, they call it's like JS1. They call it middle school. They took her on the tour to the school, and when she came, we were excited and we celebrated it. And at 14, some of your children at 14 are in SS1. And it's not even just that because she's going to the JS1. Even the JS1, the content, what she's still learning is still like somebody that is even in nursery school. But we are celebrating it. And I would say that this child, she has emotional intelligence. Emotionally, the girl is perfectly normal. In fact, I don't even see her as, and that's another important thing I want to say. Stop looking at this, stop seeing in our NGO, we normally say, see the child, not the diagnosis. Stop looking at the diagnosis, stop looking at the disability. See the person, see the individual, and celebrate the individual. When I had this child newly, because of all the negative things the doctor said, my girl children, they don't normally have hair at birth. The devil will start to tell me that this one does not have hair because she has Down syndrome. Oh, she coughs. Oh, she's coughing because she has Down syndrome. It's a lie. You don't need to have Down syndrome to cough. You don't need to have Down syndrome to have runny nose. And as a matter of fact, she's the most healthy. We don't see her as a sick person because she's not even sick. She's not sick. The fact that they are born with these conditions does not mean that they are sick. Stop seeing them as sick. Involve them in house chores. Involve them in all that you do. Involve them in family decisions. The discrimination of a special needs child starts with the family. If you don't accept this child in the family, your child is not going to accept it. My sister that spoke this morning, in fact, I was driving, but I had to take my phone to do some voice notes from what she was saying so that I will not forget. One of the things that she said, she spoke about community parenting. Then she said, accept the child, parent the child that you are seeing. Not the child you dreamt of, not the perfect child you dreamt of. The child that you are seeing is the child you will parent. Parent that child. This is the one that has come. The child with autism has come with the tantrum, with the meltdown, with the everything, with the sensory disorder. Parent the child, my dear. Parent the child and stop mourning the imperfect. Stop mourning the perfect child that did not come. Parent the child. And the way you celebrate that child, the way you accept the child, is the way the society is going to accept your child. So that helps. Inclusion. Don't be crying. Society is not including our children. Create that inclusive space. In our NGO, we have created inclusive runway program for our children, inclusive play, inclusive dance, inclusive school, inclusive anything. We are not crying. Government, do this, do this. We too, there is something we can do. And we mobilize our friends and family to help us to do what we can do. What helps? Therapy helps. Yes, you are praying. In the Grace Ones, we're a prayer group. We pray, pray, pray. We do therapy, we do therapy, we do therapy. We engage in education. We don't leave anything unturned. No stone is left unturned. You do the therapy. Do it. Don't be tired of taking your child for therapy. You to learn. You to learn. You have a niece, you have a nephew, you have a child with disability. You to learn. Don't say the teachers are saying my child cannot learn. You to learn how you can teach your child. And don't think that it's a waste of money sending the child to school. A lot of parents with disability, their children don't go to school, but their other, if they have 3, 4 children, the others go to school, but this one with disability does not go to school. Why? Put the resources. This is the one that even needs to go to school more than any other person. And then there is another aspect I want to round up, but in rounding up, I want to talk about a major concern with people with disability, their families, the society, and their future. One of the greatest fears that a family has, a parent have about a child with disability is what will happen to the child when I'm gone? What will happen to the child? Who will take over the care, the burden of care? Who will take over the burden of care? In the United States, they have a lot of care centers. They have a lot of assisted living. Depending on the severity, some of them can live alone, but just with a little assistance. Some of them, they're completely dependent on other people and everything. But they are taught that they have rights, and their rights are seriously respected. Who takes over the burden of care? That's why your child should go to school. That's why you should train your child. Vocational and other um, types of training are very important for your child, for your relative, your sibling with disability, so that they don't become a burden tomorrow. The way we train them today is what they will turn out. A child with disability today will be a man with disability tomorrow, will be a woman with disability tomorrow. Now before they used to have very low lifespan because of lack of care, but now with improved care, there is some of them in the 70s, they're in the 80s, they're in the 90s, they are living out their lives. So imagine that person with disability that you don't train, you don't correct. You don't train, you don't correct. Why? They are trainable. Let's train them the way you train your other children, the way you prepare them for adulthood, for teenagers, the way you answer their questions. This platform is about answering tough questions. The way our teenagers have tough questions, they have it too. This one's with disability, they have it too. Prepare the answers. Prepare them. Like our sister this morning was talking about the child that committed suicide because she did not pass JAMB. She said the parents did not have the conversation. Prepare the child for the discrimination that is ahead, for the rejection that is ahead, for the struggles that are ahead. And prepare the siblings. Prepare the siblings, because now talking about answering tough questions, the siblings also have questions. Why do I have a sister with autism? Why do I have a sister that behaves this way? Why does my sister always embarrass us? Why must my brother or my sister go out with us? Because everybody will be staring at the person and we feel uncomfortable. Why must they go out with us? Answer their questions. Answer their questions. This conversation is a lot, but I think I will stop here. I will just conclude by saying that we can help people with disability, or help families that have people with disability, to stand strong by understanding the disability. I know someone who just started an NGO for disability. She doesn't have a child with disability or anything, but she said she went somewhere and she saw someone with disability being ill-treated, being treated wrongly. And she was like, what's wrong with this person? There's something wrong. And she started to Google the behavior she saw. And as she was Googling and everything, she now came up with the word autism. And now she has launched out her own foundation to cater to their needs. So we, rather than discriminate, let's join those sets of people that provide support to persons with disability. So thank you very much. So I don't know if our host is here.
Have me back. Yes, ma, I am completely and absolutely here. My notes are full. Um, from the very beginning, I was just wow. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm a teacher. So and I think I work with children from low income families. Oh God, ma, I wish you had seen the messages as they are coming in. Thank God I'm not the only one who is excited about this. I like the part where you said they are like us in 46 ways, and it's just one way that they are different from us. Another thing I noted here is that there's something wrong with how we are doing it in Nigeria, because there's this societal reaction of acceptance and discrimination, the education, the health care. Um, we should let them grow and experience the world. Another thing that touched me differently when you mentioned that you can be that person that helps someone stand strong. It doesn't have to be that because you have a child or because you're a teacher, but your response, your reactions can be all the support. Like the person at the mall who called her beautiful and helped you yourself to finally come to see, ma, please, this was amazing. Thank you so much for an amazing session.
Thank you.
And as you were speaking, my head was busting. I went immediately to search for the engraved ones. I was on Facebook. I saw all the posts. I was wowed. You are doing an
Thank you.
excellent job, man. So please, we are going
Thank
to
you.
give you a few seconds to just take water and take a break. In the meantime, please, we can go through the comment section and see the amazing feedback this has generated. This has been wonderful. Please, if you are here, don't stop typing. I can see you, Mr. Akintola. Oh, Miss Akintola, Mrs. Akintola Chinelo. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you so much. I see your comments. They are trainable. Yes, they are. And she also said that there is no disability in eternity. Exactly. There's no disability in eternity. I saw that. She said something about community parenting, um, to create an exclusive space. And then she rounded up by saying we should prepare the child and the siblings for the tough questions that they are going to ask. And I think that is majorly why we have ATQ. Children are going to come up with questions about why their siblings are the way they are. As parents, as carers, as trusted adults, we need to be prepared to give them the feedback. So please, if you have any question while we are waiting, the reviews are coming in. So please, if you have any question to ask, please signify. And while we are going through the Q&A session, please, we are waiting feedback. Do well to join us on our Facebook, join us on WhatsApp, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. Follow us on all of the links. They are displayed in the comment section as I speak. Thank you so much, everyone. This has been an excellent session, and I've enjoyed every bit of it. I hope you have too. So, without further ado, while our it's not about having all the answers. Thank you, Madam Rebecca Giwa. It's about being present, loving, and learning. Thank you so much for the reviews and the feedback, everyone. So please let me quickly invite Coach Stella for our remarks. Please, people, don't forget to help like and share. Ma, thank you so much for
Well,
this wonderful session. Thank you for putting this together. I have learned a lot. Thank you very much. This was
thank you
wonderful.
so much. Thank
Yes.
you. It's always amazing listening to we call her Auntie Bibi. It's always amazing listening to her every time she speaks about helping people with disability. So, all right. So we will no longer call them people with special needs. It's changing. It's now persons with developmental disability. So I learned something today. Persons with developmental disability. These people can actually be involved in the things that happen in our society. We pray that our country will get better. People will be more informed on ways to interact with people with special need. Yes, I've seen places where a child with special need was coming down the stairs and everybody was was giving way. I was wondering, is she carrying any contraband or bomb that will explode? Now, why the I don't know if it was done out of pity or I just couldn't place what it was really. And yeah, we still have that in our society. It's not even up to 2 years. I had somebody said, "Pikin wey as dem born and finish, e dey disabled, na im dey come begin get money. It's just I never use and do rituals." No, this thing I'm saying, not even up to 2 years. I had it in a society among educated women. Among this one now, it wasn't low class people, educated people were saying that. God will help us. I learned a whole lot today. I learned so much myself. Please, let's bring our questions. Thank you so much, Ma, for always doing this for us, enlightening us, and letting us know that these people are actually humans. When you started, you said the society cannot wish away people with disability. You can't wish them away. They are here with us. So all we need to do is provide them every support they need. And every support they need, it's ongoing and lifelong. Don't say
Yeah.
after all, I give support today, I won't do again. And every time you can, even if it means just helping one get down staircases, advocating. I keep saying, I don't understand why a building of 5 stories will only have staircases. And knowing how fantastic our lights are here, you get to some facilities, the escalators, and they're not escalators, the lifts are not working, and then somebody needs to wheel up to the seventh floor, fourth floor, fifth floor. And sometimes it's very difficult for these people. In the little way we can you just help that person get upstairs so that person can do
So
what
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Auntie Stella. Do you know that like even someone with disability on wheelchair was telling me that he went to the bank, his own money, his own bank, and you know the way the security doors are. So it was a challenge even going into the bank. And
to the back.
at the end of it all, the security was like, let me go and find out from my manager if we can let you in. So it's in fact like this thing about disability, if you don't know, you don't know. That person did not, if I didn't have that conversation with that person, I would never have imagined that such a problem existed where they cannot even access banks. And then one day I heard some people talking, they are blind about ATM machines. They really can, they have problem using ATM machines. So our society, we have laws, but they are not being implemented. And even the people that, the custodians of the law probably don't even know how to interpret what these things are. Because there are most of these policies are our usual copy things we do. So it's well.
God will help us. We'll get better. Thank God for awareness. Thank God for increased advocacy going on. So please don't just listen and go. Become an advocate from where you are. If your church is not yet accepting these people with disabilities, developmental disability, be the first to begin to talk about it in your church everywhere and every way you can. Once again, thank you so much, Ma. Just before you go, I am not seeing questions. Just before you go, Ma, please can we have your final words? And thank you so much, Mr. Oteri, for accepting to do this for us today. God bless you so much. Auntie Bibi needs to get back to work, so we can't keep her longer than this. Ma, please can we have your final words just before you go? Is she still here? I don't know if she's still here. Okay. Just before we go, our next session is for 6 p.m. I'll be having Mrs. Tochi Abiodun come talk to us about finding support, the right support as a single parent. Please, that's not a session to miss, 6 p.m. And also by 8 p.m., we'll be having Coach Abibo Berepele come talk to us about standing strong, raising wholesome boys. All right, so once again, thank you everyone for being here. Okay, she's out. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you so much to our amazing moderator for today. God bless us all. So, see you all by 6 p.m. If you have any questions, you want to contact her privately, you can reach out to me or any of the admins, and then we will fix an appointment with her if you would want to reach her. Thank you so much. And also, you can search for the engraced ones on the internet, on Facebook, on Instagram. Yes. All right. Once again, thank you for being here. See you all by 6 p.m. God bless you. Bye bye.